Advocating for the immigrants at the border are the U.S. bishops, insisting this coronavirus crisis affects everyone, regardless of legal status. Here to talk more about that is the national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, Christopher White. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you, Christine.
Chris, the U.S. bishops have identified three top priorities when it comes to protecting migrants during this pandemic. Can you walk us through what they are?
Sure. So for starters, health care for all, regardless of one's legal status. Secondly, they want the government to suspend its public charge rules so that if migrants that are perhaps undocumented seek public support during this time, any type of social services, that will not later be held against them. And then finally, they're keen that the government suspend any type of enforcement in sensitive locations, such as hospitals, churches, schools, where, folks still need to go, but they may be afraid to encounter law enforcement.
All right. What are you hearing from advocates at the border about what's happening there?
Yeah, it's a tough situation on the ground. I spoke with Dylan Corbett in El Paso, who runs the Hope Border Institute. And he says, look, we have so many people that first rely on sort of the transient nature of the border, that it's porous. They live on one side and work in the other, and that's becoming increasingly difficult. He says he's talking to migrants in El Paso who are afraid to go seek medical care and get testing because they just don't know that they have the securities in place. And they're also upset that the government is really banned entirely the acceptance of asylum seekers. And what he's saying is, if there are folks in danger, we have the resources we can provide for them, and we need to provide them safe shelter.
All right, now in Rome, the Pope's point man on migrants and refugees offered some advice for navigating these uncertain times. What did he tell you?
Sure, this was Cardinal Michael Czerny, and he, as you said, he's the Pope's go-to guy on all these issues. And he said, look, we have to think about it like Pope Francis often talks about in terms of the common home, and realize this crisis, more than anything we've really ever faced, puts us all in the same boat together. And so it's sort of a plea for those of us documented and undocumented to sort of show solidarity to one another.
All right, Christopher White, the national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Christine. Take care.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.